Next, I wish to talk about the bass guitar. So within your project, if I play this back for you, turn the level up. And if I go to YouTube, listen to a real electric bass player playing. Listen to the balance between his electric bass and the kick drum. Can you hear the kick drum? There's a tight relationship between the kick drum and the bass player in terms of rhythm. They're playing together. They're very important for styles that's jazz. Jazz can be very loose, but let's say rock, pop, blues, kick drum and bass normally are very tight on the main beat. So the bass is performing the root pedal note musically, and the rhythm, it's also in sync with the kick drum, reinforcing the downbeat. Now, for when you're mixing, it's quite often general practice to equalize where necessary elements of the drum kit, balance the drum kit together, and then listen to what the kick drum sounds like with the bass. Now I need to... So listening to the kick drum and the bass, listening to the tone of the kick, listening to the tone of the bass. Now, in my class, I'm going to talk to you about the idea of creating sculpturing out an area within the spectrum for the electric bass to fit in. So it's very important, as I mentioned in class, to open up this 31-band graphic equalizer where I've labeled sub-bands of the spectrum for you to think about, not just low, mid, high, sub-bass and bass. So the most of the kick drum energy is in the sub-bass, the kick drum. Most of the energy is of the electric bass guitar is between 60 and 250 hertz. The kick drum, of course, overlaps into this area, and the bass, of course, overlaps into the kick drum. In your mix, if you find that the kick drum has too much energy in the upper frequency range, it may inhibit you hearing the bass clearly. So you may want to form, using an equalizer, form like a scooped out shape on the kick drum to allow the bass frequencies to come in. We will be exploring this in our class coming up